Welcome back, dear students. So today we shall have the discussion regarding structure of atom. This is the chapter from the physical part we were discussing. ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ಥರ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಯಾವುದಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಡಿಸ್ಕವರಿ ಆಫ್ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಆಟೋಮಿಕ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ಸ್ ಅವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಈ ಸಾರಿ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ನಿಂದ ಡಿಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Exact syllabus we are going to start from developments leads to Bohr's model of an atom. Okay. So this is the first part. We start from the chapter structure of atom. Now, so very first we have to understand what are the parameters of wave. In our regular class we have discussed regarding the waves. What are waves and how they are going to be represented. It is not necessary that we have to represent wave like this only. We can also represent in a square manner like this also. That is also one of the representation of wave. We can generally tell wave is a kind of form of energy, how exactly it is flowing. Okay. Now we will start with the parameters to be studied before we go with the actual part of experimental data. Now, very first I'll explain you regarding the wavelength. This is said to be distance between two adjacent crust and trough. Okay. So this is distance between two adjacent crust and trough is called as wavelength. Okay. Now see here, the upper part what I have written here, it is said to be crest of a wave. This is called as crest of a wave. Down part or depth part what I have written here is called as trough of wave. Is called as trough of wave. Now we supposed to consider distance between two adjacent crust and trough. That distance, I have crust here, I have a trough here, two adjacent, this is adjacent to upper part and upper part is adjacent to trough, that is lower part. Here you will be considering the depth of the wave, it is called as trough. Upper part or height of wave, it is called as crest. We will be considering these two distances. I have crest here, I have trough here. Distance between adjacent crust or distance between adjacent trough, it is called as wavelength of wave. It is called as wavelength. What is the length of the wave? Or I can also tell that one complete oscillation made by wave is also called as wavelength. One complete oscillation in the sense, we will start here and we are going to end up here. Whole this part or two of trough or two of crust will be considered as wavelength. Copy this, we'll move to next parameter. Let us understand regarding second parameter of a wave. So second parameter comes, it is time period. What exactly meaning the time period? See, time taken to complete the one oscillation from the wave. Wave supposed to complete one oscillation, or I can also say that to complete one wavelength. Wave will be taking certain time to complete one wavelength. That is also called as time period. Okay, so we have a notation here, c equal to lambda by t. That means c considered to be a speed of light. This speed of light to which range it is passing is inversely proportional to the time period. Getting what I am telling you? Time period is inversely proportional to the speed of light. And lambda, it is denoted here, it is called as wavelength. So this is how we will be considering the time period. This formula will be useful for numericals in this chapter. Further we will be doing them. So take down time period, we'll move to next parameter. Now let us understand next term called as frequency. What exactly frequency, how we have to define? Listen to me. Number of oscillations per unit time, or it is also defined that wave passes through how many times in a given point per second. Always remember, frequency will be calculated that how many times a wave passes through in 1 second. The second mentioning is most important. just listen to me. I have one point here, okay. I'll be having so many times wave is moving here, and wave is moving and so on it is doing. So how many times this wave is going to be passed through with this point in 1 second? 1 second ಒಳಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಾರಿ ಈ ವೇವ್ ಆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಟಚ್ ಮಾಡೈತಿ, that is called as frequency. Remember, frequency is represented by nu. This sign, it is not exactly V, it is just tilted, it is called as nu. Representation of frequency is nu. Now I mentioned here nu is c by lambda. We all know c is the speed of light, wherein nu is said to be frequency. One thing you have to remember, nu frequency is inversely proportional to lambda. In the sense, frequency increases, lambda decreases. Always remember, if frequency increases, lambda value always decreases. That means that they are inversely proportional to each other. If they are directly proportional to each other, both the parameters will be increasing simultaneously. I am telling here that these two are inversely proportional. It means that once frequency increases of a wave, wavelength of that wave is going to be decreased. So we will be mentioning nu equal to c by lambda, that is frequency. Just copy this one, we'll move to next parameter. Okay dear students, now we understand two more parameters of a wave, that is wave number and amplitude. When you consider wave number, again wave number is inversely proportional to lambda value. Lambda value, that is nothing but wavelength. See here, wave number is represented that number of wavelength in unit length, per unit length. We will be fixing one length to which how many numbers, that is number of wavelengths are present in that length. That is called as wave number. And wave number you are going to represent as nu bar. Nu is nothing but it is frequency. Then nu bar if you write, then it is referred as wave number. Wave number is nothing but it is 1 by lambda value. So always remember, nu bar, that is called as wave number, it is 1 by lambda. Wave number increases, then what happens? Lambda value is going to be decreased. They are inversely proportional to each other. So this is all about the wave number. Last one more parameter we have to understand, that is amplitude. It is going to be represented as A. Now see, what do you mean by amplitude? Amplitude is height of crust or depth of trough. To which height a particular wave is moving, to which depth a particular wave is moving in a given vacuum or any medium. It doesn't require any medium, as we all know this one, but still it will be showing, or it will be represented by a particular height, or it is represented by particular depth. I have mentioned here diagram. A wave may show such amplitude, or it may show higher, or it may show higher more also. Similarly, it will show depth this much, or depth to the larger extent, and so on. Amplitude particularly represented here is considered as what is particularly depth of particular wave, or particularly depth of or crest if you consider height of wave. That amplitude, it may be, as I have shown here, it is just representation. It may be higher than this also, or it may be lower than this also. Okay, this is lower part. That means to what height it is showing crest, to what depth it is showing trough. That itself is called as amplitude of a wave. Take these 2 points, we'll move to next. Let us understand regarding electromagnetic radiation. What exactly the electromagnetic radiation definition stands for? A wave, so far we have seen previous discussion, a wave is represented so and so and everything we came to know. Now Wave is a kind of component which can also be called as electromagnetic radiation. Wave can also be called as electromagnetic radiation. Now question arises, what do you mean by electromagnetic radiation? See here, this is x axis I have taken, this is y axis I have taken. So I just have mentioned one wave here through the x axis. You can see that I have mentioned one representation through x axis. That means through this x axis wave is moving in this fashion. Fine. Similarly, I have mentioned one y axis also. You must remember that through this y axis wave is moving in this fashion opposite to the board. So see here, this is x axis, wave is moving here or it is vibrating in this way. It is vibrating in this way. Similarly, I have y axis here, it is moving in this fashion or vibrating in this fashion above the plane. It can also be shown like this. This x axis vibration like this, y axis vibration like this. If you compose these two, it will be having one more axis or one more representation, that is called as z axis, in which wave will be moving in this fashion or vibrating in this fashion. The wave which I have represented along the x axis, it is called as electric component. And the wave which I mentioned across this y axis is called as magnetic component. I must mention one more thing here, that the waves which are vibrating along the x axis or moving along the x axis are perpendicular to the y axis. Wave which are moving on y axis will be perpendicular to x axis and each other it is same, vice versa. Now you can see here z axis I have. In z axis the electric component, electric type of wave, or magnetic component or magnetic type of wave, they both together fuse and they will be vibrating in a horizontal, that is vertical fashion. Then the z axis on which we are seeing both the electric component and magnetic component, they are called as electromagnetic radiations. And one more thing, most important, this electric field, magnetic component, electric component, both together will be taken in one fashion through the z axis, which are called as electromagnetic radiations. All together are perpendicular to each other. Electromagnetic are perpendicular to magnetic component as well perpendicular to electric component. See here, I may show you. If at all it is x axis, waves will be vibrating in this fashion, okay, and if you consider y axis, they will be vibrating in this fashion above the plane, and similarly if you consider z axis, they will be vibrating in the other direction. All are going to be perpendicular to each other, and the combination of electric components and the combination of magnetic components together, we are going to obtain electromagnetic radiation, and all are going to be perpendicular to each other. And I must write some of the points here. For electric component and for electromagnetic radiation, they are referred as characteristics of electromagnetic radiations. So now see here, very first characteristics of electromagnetic radiation I must mention here, they do not require any medium to move. Before to that one, these electromagnetic radiations move as the same as speed of light. I must write here first point, electromagnetic radiations move in the speed of light, in the speed of light. In which speed or what speed light is moving, in the same speed electromagnetic radiations will also move in the speed of light. Second, electromagnetic radiations do not require any medium to do not require any medium to propagate. For their propagation or for their movement, they do not require any medium. They can move into the vacuum also. So this is the second point what we write here. I must write last point, most important point. Electromagnetic radiations are perpendicular to electric component as well as magnetic component also. All the three are perpendicular to each other. When you consider characteristics, particularly electromagnetic radiations, they are perpendicular to magnetic component as well as perpendicular to electric component. So electromagnetic radiations are perpendicular to electric component as well as magnetic component. So in the examination they may ask you write any properties or write characteristics of electromagnetic radiations. Then you are supposed to write at least 2 characteristics for 2 marks. If at all you are writing all the 3, it is well and good. You are going to get 100% marks. That is 2 marks question. They are going to ask this electromagnetic radiation. This representation, nowhere it is most important, but in order to make you understand the terminology, I have given this diagram. But the thing is, these are 3 important points you need to remember. Copy this, we'll move to the next. Welcome back, students. Now we'll understand regarding electromagnetic spectrum. Electromagnetic spectrum is most important point. Just a second, give me a time. Mobile is tilting. Good day, students. We understand regarding electromagnetic spectrum. Now question arises, what do you mean by electromagnetic spectrum? Electromagnetic spectrum is a kind of representation of different types of waves in their increasing order of wavelength. I repeat, term electromagnetic spectrum defines that it is representation of different types of waves in their increasing order of wavelength or decreasing order of frequency. If it is increasing order, wavelength is increasing. If you consider right to left, it is decreasing order of frequency. And electromagnetic radiation energy is directly proportional to the frequency. I repeat my words. Electromagnetic radiation's energy is directly proportional to the frequency, whereas it is inversely proportional to the wavelength. I'll represent that one later, don't worry. Now look here. This is called as electromagnetic spectrum. These different form of radiations are present here. I told you to remember regarding representation regarding one phrase. You have to remember that phrase. Very first I have written here gamma rays. Before this one we will having cosmic rays also, and we are not interested in that one. We will not represent that one at all. So CGX UV IMR, you supposed to remember that phrase I told you. CGX UV IMR. Okay, so this is a phrase you have to remember. Cosmic rays, gamma, X-rays, ultraviolet radiations, then infrared, microwave, then lastly we have radio waves. Those itself I have represented. Such type of representation of different types of waves in their increasing order of wavelength is called as electromagnetic radiation. Now see here, very first I have gamma rays, X-rays. This is said to be far UV, this is said to be near UV. In the middle I have visible region, then I have near IR, far IR, in the sense infrared radiations. Infrared radiations near and far to the visible I have mentioned here. Then I have microwaves set, and lastly I have radio waves. Okay. Now when you consider particularly visible region, generally we will be observing the Webb gear. Rainbow. Rainbow color is made of Webb gear, which is comes soon after the rain. Now WebGR is mainly composed of so many colors. So very first I must mention here violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow and orange. Lastly I have red. We must know that the visible range, what color we are going to observe, is mainly because of the absorption of its complementary colors. I'll let you know what are complementary colors, why the absorption occurs and all depth when we move into the chapter. But you have to remember this violet region will be 350. This region is important. Just remember these digits. Region digits, that is approximate values, will be helpful for numericals. Indigo will be 450, blue 500, green 550, yellow 600, orange 650. Lastly, red comes under 800. These are said to be increasing order of the wavelengths. Okay, so these values just somehow we have mentioned here that those are considered to be approximate values. You supposed to remember those values, which will be helpful for our numericals. So now this is all about electromagnetic spectrum. Electromagnetic spectrum, how we define it? This is nowhere they are going to ask you definition, but you have to know. These are said to be different types of waves. Different types of waves are going to be represented in their increasing order of wavelength. They are called as electromagnetic spectrum. As I told you, energy of electromagnetic spectrum is directly proportional to its frequency, E equal to nu, energy of electromagnetic radiation, and it is inversely proportional to lambda. It is inversely proportional to wavelength. So we could write E equal to 1 by lambda also. So energy of the electromagnetic radiation is inversely proportional to wavelength and directly proportional to its frequency. Copy it, we'll move to the next.